Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to something a little bit different today. I promised it, yeah, so here it is. I'm going to be having a look at Nvidia Shield. So, there's a box. I'm not going to do an unboxing thing. That's just a little... In fact, I'll leave that there. We might use it as a stand. So, here's the actual thing itself. So, what I'll probably do... Originally, I was going to show you some gameplay that was actually running on the Nvidia itself, but... honestly, I didn't like that because then I would have had to actually show you the demonstration itself on a small screen. So what I'll more likely do is do the whole video like this, so you can have a good look at the Nvidia itself. And then if you want to see actually some more performancey stuff, then I'll do a separate video where the main screen itself will be the game, and then there can be a small video actually still seeing me running the Nvidia. Okay, so let's just actually move that out the way, because I think the camera's trying to focus on it. So, quick side note just for the basic shield itself. This plate on the front is actually removable. It's just a magnetic clip. That's so if you want to get customizable plates and things like that. So, you can put that on there and it just magnetises to it nice. And you have got to give it some pretty good force to get it off there. So, yeah, that's nice. On the back you've got like a sort of rubberized plastic here for grip, which is pretty nice, I must say. So it's very comfortable to hold. Right, let's quickly go over the top as well. So we've got your headphone input, that's where the charging dock, the HDMI port, there is a SD like expansion slot there, and then this along here is a fan output, and underneath that green part there is the intake. So there's a fan and everything sitting inside here. Now, the juicy part, inside. So the screen on this is a 5-inch screen in 720 resolution, and the whole thing is dented inwards, so if I hold it like that you should be able to see better. So everything sits very flush, and you can have you can put this right the way back like that. It's very nice. So it works for it's very comfortable sort of controller shape. Obviously I'm a bit more used to like an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller, which I would sit more like that. So I do tend to find myself default into this a fair bit, but in games obviously this is a bit nicer. So you also have a mic just here with the 2 speakers as well, and they're very good speakers, I might add. So I'll go through some of these buttons kind of once we get into it. So, now we go to the main part. Sometimes this unloading takes a little bit of time, so I'll see how long it takes to load. If it takes a bit too long, I'll probably cut here until it's loaded. So it takes about a minute or so. So, we'll see anyway. Okay, so, now that we've actually loaded into the device itself, I would also note that this is a touchscreen, and it's a very good touchscreen, I may add. It's running on Android, so if any of you got an Android phone, it works exactly the same. You can still get notifications here as you would pulling it down. It just runs exactly like it. So, right, let's start going through some of these. So you can open this up to go into all your settings and your different apps and things like that. Standard to any kind of Android device, so there's all different sorts, but there's a few special things about the Shield that I'm going to cover, mostly about the gaming side of things. So, here I've actually got some games already installed which are actually from the store. Now, if I press this button here, or I press this one here, it will take me to the Tegra Zone, I believe it's called, which is basically where all the games are for this. So hopefully you can see this alright, but we've got the shop here on the top, which has got several games from the actual Android store itself, which you can have a nose through, but these ones in particular are based for the Shield, or at least compatible with the Shield. Now, that doesn't mean that if there's something isn't compatible with the Shield that you can't use it. This is where it gets kind of clever. If you have a game, say, that uses, like if you had a tablet that uses the touch controls, so you'd have to control like this and then use whatever's here, you can hold down this button here and it will bring up a secondary menu. It won't do it here. Let's see if I actually have a game installed that I could show it you with. probably not. I'll tell you what, I will very quickly download one because I do know one that does work. So let's say we wanted to get this little game here. Again, I may cut this out just while I download this, and then I'll actually show it you once it's all ready to go. But we'll see. Also got to try and hope that I can actually get some kind of look on the screen, because at the minute it's glaring back a little bit, which I don't really want. So we've installed that. So let's go back home. So you can, this is your home button, back. This is technically a start button, but if you hold it down, just sort of the features, and then volume, which again, if you just tap that, it'll bring up a volume slider here, which you just tap. Perfectly simple. So now this game runs, see how Game Mapper has just been activated there? I can do some pretty cool stuff with this now. So usually you would have to tap, which we'll do. Again, I'm hoping you can see this okay. If I bring it up a bit closer, maybe you can. See, now you're meant to choose whether you want to tilt the device or touch it. So obviously we're going to make use of the touch controls. So usually we would have to touch here to steer left, touch here to steer right, and then we've got brakes here. But if we hold down this, you'll get this cool little display. And as you can see, it's already remembered from when I had this game before that I have moved the left stick here, and literally all you do is you grab and you can drag and drop these. You can also change the size of them. But so there you go. So if I click that, I can then choose where I want it, or at least usually I could. I think it's because it's remembered me from before. So at the minute I can, let's say if we bin that, let's click this one, we'll bin that as well. Now we can take that. Oh, I've just let go of it by mistake. So you can drag this here now, and you could drag it over to here, and then you can resize it based on however big you want it. And then we take this one and we drag it over to here, resize that a little bit as well. And now if I come out of this, you will now see that I can turn using the analog sticks, which is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, obviously I'm not very good with these kind of games, but that's the example of what that can do. So that's a cool feature for if you use a lot of mobile games that use tap controls. You can remap them. You can do it in other games as well. But now we're going to get onto the meaty core of this thing, which is streaming. So the whole idea of this is to stream things from your PC. So there's two ways you can do that. There's some here that are automatically default based on the fact that this is an Nvidia device. So if you've got the Nvidia experience on your PC, it'll automatically detect certain games. So I've got a list of a couple of them here: Dark Souls, Darksiders, and a few others, Witcher, and Portal. So I can click any of these and it'll load them up. The other thing you can do, you can load up Steam directly. So if I do that and tap this, now this will now, on my main screen now, big picture is just loaded into this. So whatever you're seeing now on this is happening on my screen. Now you can go over to your library, go down to games, and then there's a little drop box here that you can change to controller friendly games, and this will list all games that come with controller support, which means they'll work pretty much instantly with this, which is very cool. Now I have played lots of different games on this thing already. So far I mostly prefer doing like your little platformers and things like that on there. I've been playing a bit of what's it called, Vladis Story Abyss. Let's see where it is. Valdis Story Abyssal City. I've been playing a bit of that. I've done some Don't Starve. I've been playing quite a lot of on here. I tried some Awesome Noughts Online, but I can only really do the practice matches because it lags a little bit too much. I have been able to do an online game of Payday 2. I hosted and played that. I've played a bit of Orcs and Men to do some RPG tests. I've played Luft Trousers on here. I've played quite a lot on here. Dust, all that. Some of these spectacle fighters work pretty well. So that's one way you can access, and then you've got the original way, which I showed you before, which is what we're going to go and try and make use of right now. So if I just close that, and then I'll just quit Steam for now. So there's that, nice and sorted, and then we'll just open up Portal 2, and you can get a bit of an example of something a little bit more. So again, this has just started running on my PC. See, what you're actually seeing now is actually on my PC screen. So I will just quickly. So here's actually another thing I'll show you. This actually gives me time to make use of this. So if you hold down this, you can actually then control the mouse on your PC. So for now, I will just cancel it, and we should be able to go back. Now, has that just completely not worked? It looks like it. Right, fine. Portals wants to be a bit of a nuisance. So what we'll do, we'll try Skyrim. That's my fault because I tried to test this before, and it's obviously made a slight problem with the cloud saving. So let's just load up Skyrim. So remember that what this is running is like there's no pressure on this. It's your PC that's streaming the game. So on my PC I'm running a lot of mods, a fair amount of mods. So it's going to quickly, it's got to see the problem with this, it takes a little bit longer to load up on here, because obviously usually when you load up a PC version you'd have that little box that you just briefly saw where you'd have all your mods, whereas it's skipped through that. So it takes a little bit of time to load. Hair stuck on it, well done. So hopefully you can still see this alright. Now, problem with this game is the first loading screen is always the longest, but we'll give it a go nonetheless. So I can at least try and show you how it runs. Again, if needs be, I'll cut out this loading screen. There we go, and we're in. Unfortunately, problem with Skyrim, a lot of snow. So it tends to reflect back quite a lot. See if we can get somewhere a little bit darker. Where am I? I'm in High Hrothgar, so let's go and run in here and get somewhere a bit darker. And then you should be able to see a bit better. Yeah, another loading screen. Only brief though. Should only be brief. There you go. Right, now we're in somewhere a bit darker, so it won't reflect back quite so bad on the camera. So as you can see, it runs pretty nice. And you've got, so here I'm using a bow. You can just show. And it all works incredibly well, because all as this is doing is receiving the information across my network from my PC. My PC is doing all the hard work. So I think this is running about 70 odd different mods into it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that is it running Skyrim on maximum settings, fully modded, and it's very cool. Again, this is displaying on my screen in front of me, so it's kind of weird, because I've got this here. I've got the main screen showing exactly the same as what you're seeing here, and then I've also got the webcam preview in front of me on another monitor, just so I can make sure that it's actually looking okay-ish. So I can see this same screen 3 times right now, which is kind of weird. Right, so there is one other thing I can show you, but technically I shouldn't be able to show it you. So never mind worrying about that, let's just go straight back. And I'll just quit out of it, just out of ease, so that my PC's not trying to do that as well. Now, there is something else that I can show you. Oh, that's still open, joy. There's something else I can show you called Grid. Now, this was not technically launched here, so it just says beta on it. Now, this is where Nvidia offer and stream games from their offices. This is only supposed to be available, I think it was it North Carolina or something? It's North America somewhere, I believe. I can't remember exactly where it was said. So this test will fail. but you can click continue anyway, because I've got a fairly decent internet connection. I'm on about 100 meg download, so it's pretty good. So you can just click continue anyway, and then it has a list of games that they offer that you can stream. So there's both the Borderlands games, both the Darksiders, Dead Island, Overlord, Grid, The Witcher 2, all this kind of thing. So you can then say we wanted to play Borderlands 1. I don't own Borderlands 1 on the PC, I have it on a console, because I didn't have a very good PC when the first Borderlands come out. Now this is running, it isn't running on my PC, my PC's not running the damn thing right now. This is going to be running from Nvidia's PCs, but it will be streamed directly to me. And there you go. We're now also playing Borderlands, which is pretty freaking cool. As I say, it's not meant to be released in Europe, and unfortunately it also means that for some reason in Borderlands 1 I can't skip anything. I think it was it's one of the other games on here that I was playing yesterday, I can't remember the name of it, Red Faction or Red Faction or something of that nature. That was running on here, and you could skip everything. It was running like an absolute child. But there you go, you'd be able to play Borderlands and just carry on and play it as you usually would. So you could just carry on and do what you want. So there you go. That's been directly streamed to me, and it would work perfectly well. I won't go into that one though, because it would take far too long. So you can just say, and then it asks you to rate the session since it's in thing, which it seemed fine, so I'll just put great for now, because I already know that it works because I played about an hour of it before. So that's the other feature that is available for game streaming. So yeah, that's a look at some of the basic features of the Nvidia Shield. Let me know if you want to see a full, like a screen capture of this. So this was just a basic overlook of the actual device itself. And if you wish, I will make use of that HDMI port on the back, and I'll capture it so you can get a direct feed of this, or I'll just use Fraps and I'll capture the actual screen in front of me, and you can see exactly what this is. And I'll have a camera like this looking down, and then you'll also have the main camera of the game so you can see the quality. Entirely up to you, but obviously that would be a 720p video, not a 1080 like I usually do. So yeah, that's been a look at the Nvidia Shield. This is obviously the portable version, not to be confused with the tablet version, which is a 1080 display for one, and obviously a tablet with a separate controller. I personally ended up getting this because it just suits me more. I don't like the idea of having the tablet and the controller for if I'm going around gaming, whereas this is a lot nicer if I've got my PC on here that I can go and sit downstairs or sit in the garden and just work away. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. Pretty cool device. I will, if I think of anything else, I'll maybe do another little update video and show you any new features that come out for it. But if you want to see the actual game stuff, then let me know, because otherwise it'll just be this. So thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, leave me a like, drop me a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more product, like let's look at products, like product reviews or whatever you want to call them, let me know, and I'll try and cobble together some other products that we can have a look at. Thank you very much, guys, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye bye.